Guys, think about it. When was the last time you actually got cold called, set up a meeting with that person that cold called you, and then actually bought something? Like, it just doesn't really happen, does it, guys? So guys, welcome back to the channel. Montel Gordon here. In today's video, I want to break down exactly why I believe cold calling sucks and you shouldn't actually do it. Now, with that being said, first of all, forgive me for sounding a little bit whiny. I still have the cold. I'm trying to get over that right now. I'm still got the flu. So if I sound a little bit sniffly or if I sound a little bit weird, just forgive me about that because I do have a cold that I'm currently fighting as of right now. But guys, cold calling really does suck. Now, I want to break down a couple of key reasons as to why I believe cold calling sucks. Again, this is all my opinion. If you are using cold calling to build your business, that's great. That's if it works for you, then obviously use it. And I'm gonna kind of want to break down when you should use cold calling and stuff like that. So at the start, when you first start your SMMA, of course, you're probably going to need to do cold calling, cold email and stuff like that, because you have no leverage. You see, leverage is what business is all about. Business is a game of leverage, whether that be some sort of service you have or some sort of knowledge you have that you can leverage, some sort of resource you can leverage, such as money, time, something like that. Those are the sort of resources you can actually leverage in your business. Now, at the start, when you actually start your first business, or you're broke and you're starting SMMA, you don't have much leverage. If you're starting a digital marketing agency from scratch, you don't have much leverage. You don't have a good network that you can leverage. You don't have much money you can leverage, probably. You don't have much knowledge on Facebook ads or anything like that you can actually leverage. So you're probably gonna have to do the cold calling and stuff like that yourself to actually get your first client. Now, a better way to actually leverage would be to leverage somebody else. So you can actually go out there, authority hijack off somebody. So what I like to do, and what I highly suggest you guys do if you're at the start, is go and find somebody successfully online. Study under them, as in study their YouTube channel, study what they're doing. So if you found somebody in the gym niche who's killing it with Facebook ads, figure out what they're doing and kind of leverage their results. And what I mean by that is ethically position yourself as they are your associate. Now, this is going to sound a little bit unethical, but it's actually completely ethical. If you are actually learning and you genuinely know what that person's actually done in order to achieve results for the gym niche, then you can actually talk about that to potential clients when you're actually on the phone with them trying to close them, for example. But that's getting a little bit off topic. That was just a little bit of information about leverage there. A better way to leverage would be to actually just go and find a contractor in a particular niche that has a particular result that you want to show a potential prospect. So if you're going after gym owners, you can go find somebody who's killing it on Upwork with gym Facebook ads and leverage his results to actually get clients. Then as soon as you got a client, you pass him to that same outsourcer. Everybody wins. I've mentioned this many times on my channel, just this week, I believe. But guys, when you're first starting, you're probably going to have to do cold calling. Now, cold calling is something that can work if you do a lot of it. It really is a numbers game, cold calling. And the reason why I believe it sucks is because there's no face to your name. So when you're on the phone cold calling a business, they already know what you're going to try and do. You're trying to pitch something, and even if you say, "Oh, don't worry, this is not a sales call" or anything like that, I'm sure I've heard a couple of SMMA people teach that. That just sounds even more like a sale is going to happen. It's kind of like when, so guys, it's kind of like when somebody says to you, no offense by the way, but, and then they go on to say something, you already know that there's some sort of offense coming your way. So it's kind of like when you tell a business owner, oh, this is not a sales call or anything like that, they already know it's probably going to be a sales call, and it's very intrusive. Cold calling, it can sound very sleazy. And the thing with cold calling is, guys, is that the more friendlier you try to sound, the more of a salesperson you actually sound like. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You want to try and sound more friendly, but then when you try and sound as friendly as possible, you sound even more like a sales guy. Again, guys, I do believe cold calling can work. It's just that just because it does work, doesn't mean that it's the most efficient and effective way to actually go out there and get as many clients. And again, at the start, you're probably going to have to do cold calling and cold emailing and stuff like that. But the word cold itself is another reason why it sucks. People buy from people they trust. So if you can get people over a trust hump, as Trey Cockram, if any of you guys know who that is, a great entrepreneur, I really resonate with his message as well. But if you can get people over the trust hump, as in they can trust you, and the way you can get people to trust you is through content. I mean, over the phone, these calls are probably going to last like a minute max or 2 minutes max or something like that. You can't really get people to trust you in that little of time, because you're not providing anything of value to them. You're not actually bettering their way in any way, shape or form. Guys, I'm pretty sure I mentioned in one of my last videos that the market doesn't really care about you. They only care about what's in it for them. So if you can create like an audit, for example, for somebody and send that over to them via email, they're going to appreciate that much more than a cold call. So if you can actually go and look into their business, diagnose what they're currently doing, what they should be doing, and why they're leaving money on the table, and what their competitors are doing better than them, they're going to love you so much more than a cold call. Cold calling sucks again because, again, it's cold, it feels intrusive, and when you do land a meeting from a cold call, guys, and I've had this happen before many times, the meeting itself goes very weirdly. It's almost as if you have no power whatsoever, you have no control over the meeting. When you try to take control of the meeting, it's like you're not even in a position to take control of the meeting, because you're just a random guy that called them. You came to them, so it's kind of like they have the power and you're trying to sell yourself to them. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are struggling to actually close clients. Now, one of the best ways you can actually counteract this is by using content, just finding people where they hang out. So for example, if you know that these gym owners have Facebook groups, join those Facebook groups and actually start providing content, videos, answering questions about marketing, and show them how they can actually automate, streamline, and increase their business through doing certain tricks and Facebook ads and Instagram marketing and stuff like that. That's going to work so much better than cold calling, but it takes a little bit of time to actually build that up, guys. So I do suggest you kind of do cold calls. If you have no leverage or no knowledge whatsoever, then of course you're probably going to have to do cold calls to pick up your first 1 or 2 clients. But after that, definitely don't do cold calling. Outsource your cold calling, because I mean, cold calling can still work, but you don't want to be spending that much time doing it. It's very tedious, very time consuming, can be very daunting as well, guys. So you want to definitely outsource that, and was what's something I've actually outsourced to a new team member. I'm actually trying him out right now to see if he can actually set meetings for me, and that's just because I know that my time is better off well spent on true IPAs, which is actually being sat in front of a prospect one-on-one like we are right now, on camera, over Zoom, and actually trying to close them. That's what I want to spend the majority of my time doing, because that's going to bring me the highest return on investment per minute spent, basically, if that makes any sense to you guys. So what you want to do, guys, is focus your energy on the IPAs that are going to give you the greatest result, the highest ROI, and that is probably going to be you sat in front of a prospect, speaking to them, trying to close them. But of course, at the start, you're not going to have leverage, so you're going to have to use like cold calling, cold emailing and stuff like that. Another reason why I don't like cold calling, I believe it just completely sucks, is because you are not building your brand as you go along. So you're putting in all this effort, like reaching out to businesses and calling businesses, should I say, and those calls are only lasting around 1 to 3 minutes or something like that. That's a call. When you do a call, think about it. You do a call to a business. After the call's gone. It doesn't stay on the internet. It's not there around forever. But if you was to focus your energy on creating content, posting it out, that stays on the internet forever. And if you can rank that well using like SEO and stuff like that, using hashtags and making sure it's keyword optimized and whatnot, that content can bring you in leads for years to come. So if you create like a massive video and it goes just completely viral on like marketing for gym owners or something like that, that can go viral, that can bring you in leads. Even if it doesn't go viral, it's still on the internet forever. So the time you put in to that video or piece of content, it's still going to be on the internet forever, and it can actually, years down the line, somebody might see that and see that you've been doing this for a long time, and they can see that you've grafted from the beginning all the way to now, and it's going to build trust in their eyes. And that's why I believe you should start your personal brand. Now, I'm a big brand person. I believe that personal brand is one of the best things, if not the best thing you can actually possibly start, because with a personal brand you can literally go into any business. It's kind of like those YouTubers you see, those massive YouTubers. As soon as they get attention, they just start selling different shit, such as merch or like different products on there. They probably have no idea how to run a clothing line, yet they have a clothing line. Guys, think about it. When was the last time you actually got cold called, set up a meeting with that person that cold called you, and then actually bought something? Like, it just doesn't really happen, does it, guys? Think about it. Realistically, when was the last time you actually bought something that and someone actually called you up about it and you actually bought it because they actually called you? Like, I've never ever once done that, guys. And it's the same. I mean, it can work. It's just that it's very difficult. You have to call a lot of businesses in order to weave out the ones who are those people that like old-fashioned, you know, you call me and we'll set up a meeting that way. There's very few and far between, guys. So you're gonna have to do a lot of calls, and because of that, you're gonna one, probably get disheartened because you're gonna get rejected time and time again. Two, you're gonna start second guessing yourself because you're first of all, if you're doing cold calls, I'm pretty sure you're a beginner, because by the time you've got a couple of clients and you've got money coming in, you can definitely outsource this sort of stuff, and you should definitely outsource this stuff, and it's what I've done, and I'll get into that in a second. So I'm pretty sure you're going to be a beginner, and if you're a beginner cold calling, you probably don't have strong mental willpower, strong mental prowess. You probably don't have that self-esteem, self-confidence, because to actually get rejected time and time again. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You know at the start you're going to need to do a lot of cold calling, but the cold calling itself is daunting, and it causes you a lot of pain, a lot of anguish. You're gonna go through rejection time and time again, and because you're a beginner, you might not have the mental resolve to actually handle that. So again, it's kind of like a catch-22. Guys, another reason, and I should have mentioned this first, is the reason why cold calling sucks is that it's very hypocritical. Think about it. You are starting a marketing agency to help people with their social media and their social media marketing. Yet you're not using social media and social media marketing to actually get clients. You're instead using cold calling. So you're going to business owners and telling them that their old school methods of marketing, such as cold calling, cold emailing, going door to door, handing out flyers, are not working. Yet you're doing the exact same things you're telling them that are not working and are inefficient, and you're doing them yourself to actually get clients. Like, that's super hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. You're literally saying that, John, I've seen your business, you're probably still doing cold calls to actually get clients and get customers. I don't think you should do that. And you're on the phone cold calling him. That just doesn't make no sense. So guys, it's kind of like you have to eat your own cooking with this one. I believe the saying goes, if you're not using your social media to get clients, and you're not using social media marketing such as Facebook ads, I know Facebook ads cost quite a bit of money if you're at the start, so you're not going to be able to use that. But once you've started getting clients in, you can actually afford to run Facebook ads. Definitely run Facebook ads to like a case study funnel, and then have a discovery call. That way it's going to work so much better, and much better to scale your business as well. That's definitely something I'm going to be looking into. But right now, what I do is focus on organic traffic to a case study funnel to a discovery call, and I highly recommend that. And the organic traffic comes from actually utilizing social media. So I can see all these people starting social media marketing agencies, and they're not even eating their own cooking. They're not even using social media to actually get clients for themselves. So when you go to somebody and cold call them, and you're talking about social media to get them more customers, and you're not actually using your own social media to get customers for yourself, how can somebody trust you with that? So guys, those are just a few reasons as to why I believe cold calling sucks. Again, just to summarize, it's very daunting to do. You can get very disheartened if you're a beginner, especially at the start. They don't build your personal brand. Once you call somebody, the call's gone. Like with a piece of content though, if you post that on the internet, it's there forever. It can bring you inbound leads. With cold calls, like for example, the more friendlier you sound on the actual call, the more of a salesperson you actually sound. That's another catch-22, because I know a lot of people try to go out there and sound as friendly as possible, and that just makes you sound even more like a salesperson. The positioning that you get from cold calling is very, very weak. With cold calling, there's no trust, there's no name to your face, like I keep mentioning. There's just no way to actually create as much value as you can if you was to create content or even do audits or looms or something like that, guys. So guys, as you can see, cold calling for me has not been great. You might be sat there thinking, yeah, but you probably might not know how to cold call, which is great if that's the case for you. I just know that I'm stronger on video. You guys might be strong with cold calling. Again, I'm not trying to say cold calling does not work. I'm just saying that there are much more efficient and effective methods out there to actually utilize, especially after you've got your first couple of clients. I know at the start you're probably going to have to do cold emailing, cold calling and whatnot, because you don't have any results or anything like that. If you do, and if that's the case, I would rather you just go and leverage somebody else's result. Or if you don't want to go that route, if you think that's unethical, which by the way it's not, it's just you're just building your own case study on someone else who's been able to do this result. Completely normal, completely ethical. But if you don't want to do that and you want to do it a slightly better way, you can even go to upwork.com or a Facebook group and find somebody in that niche who's got results that you deem worthy and who really knows what they're doing, and you can actually leverage their name and actually use their case studies, and then you can actually just close clients, pass them to that same contractor that you found, and actually just everybody wins at that point. But with that being said, guys, I just believe there's better ways out there than cold calling. Just try a few other ways, see what happens. Cold calling, a lot of effort, numbers game. You have to treat people like numbers, massive numbers. You have to get through to actually land meetings and stuff like that. Not effective, not efficient. Better ways to do that. So guys, with that being said, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.